How's it going, everybody? RazingHel here, and welcome back to Fall from Heaven 2. So what I'm going to be doing here, we're going to be starting a new campaign. These campaigns are split up into about 4 or 5 missions, and in the past year I've completed what I consider to be the Decius campaign, which involved these 4 missions: Fall of Quentine, Into the Desert, 5 I should say, Wages of Sin, Against the Grey. Oh, it is 4, okay. And Against the Grey. It took me a while to do. I missed, or I overlooked the first 4 scenarios, I guess you could say, for the overall Fall from Heaven 2 mod. So I decided that I would go back here to the first one with the Grand Menagerie, play that scenario, which of course unlocks the Momus, the Radiant Guard, and the Black Tower. And then that would sort of catch us up to the Fall of Quentine. Now, all of these, they're like separate in their own right? So they stand alone, and you don't necessarily have to play the ones before it to understand what's going on. But that's the reason I've decided to go this direction with it. And then we have the Return of Winter, which I'll be hopefully continuing after that. And there are another 5 scenarios for that overall campaign. So we're going to get started here with the Grand Menagerie. Capture the animals for Keelan's Grand Menagerie. It's a pretty simple, straightforward introduction to Fall from Heaven 2, so don't expect anything too exciting. I think we're playing an Emperor. Like to split the difficulty there a little bit between normal and ridiculously hard. Falmar, Charlie whispered. He pushed her against one of the massive crates that littered the docks of Dunwich. The moon was well past its zenith, and the narrow gap between 2 crates where they found themselves was hidden in shadows. It was a beautiful night, but the stink of the docks hung thick in the air. She leaned back as his kisses wandered down her neck to her very ample bosom, only stopping when she playfully pulled his hands away when they reached inside her bodice. Ain't you ever wanted to be with the legendary Falmar? He asked, and she smiled radiantly, letting him grope her until he began pulling up on her dress. No, she said. Just kiss me. There was a second of anger in his eyes. Even in her drunken haze, Kael recognized it. She had seen it before from other men, and it never ended well. He kissed her again, raising her hands above her head, where he held both with one of his hands. He held them so tightly, they felt like they were manacled to the wall. His other hand reached down and pulled up her dress, tearing it aside and reaching hungrily into it. No, Falmar, she yelled. Then when he wouldn't stop, she bit his cheek. He let go of the dress and punched her full in the face. Her head crunched against the side of the wooden crate, and seagulls along the dock yelled in complaint and took to flight. She started crying as he reached again for her dress. Did someone call me? A man standing at the edge of the crates asked. The attacker, the man pretending to be Falmar, quickly let go of Kael and stepped away from the speaker. The speaker was a thin, handsome man, lean and confident, though he looked dangerous now, like a coiled snake. Though Kael felt unthreatened by him, her attacker felt differently, and he immediately let go of Kael. Captain Falmar, he stammered. Isaac? Falmar answered. I was sure I heard my name. Falmar, the real Falmar, kept advancing into the makeshift alley between the crates, and Isaac kept backing up. When Falmar reached Kael, he asked her, Are you okay? She nodded and tried to wipe the tears from her eyes. She could already feel her face bruising up from the punch. I'm sorry, Falmar, Isaac said. Sometimes I tell the gullies I'm you. Just a bit of wishful dreaming, I suppose. That is not the crime I am concerned about, Falmar answered. Then Falmar struck. Jumping forward, he caught the larger man by the collar and slammed him against the crates. Isaac drew his knife, but Falmar knocked it easily aside. With Isaac trapped against the crate, Falmar punched him, splintering Isaac's cheekbones so severely it left his left eye rolling loosely in its socket, and his cheek ran flushed with purple blood. Now go, or I will give my sword to the lady and she will act out her desires on you as you had intended for her. Isaac scrambled away. Kael, stunned into silence until this moment, fell suddenly into uncontrollable tears. Falmar tilted up her face, checking her bruise, and as her sobs quieted, gave her a slight smile. Can I walk you home? Kael only nodded in response. They walked in silence through the empty streets. Despite the trauma, it was still a beautiful night, and as they approached the squat flat Kael shared with her family, she finally spoke. I thought he was you. Falmar waited until they stood before her door before he answered. You deserve better than the Dunwich docks. Expect more from men, no matter their name. She nodded, not really understanding. Will you be okay? Falmar asked. Yes, my father is home. I will be okay thanks to you. Falmar gave her another slight smile. said goodnight and headed back towards the docks. They were supposed to have set sail hours ago, but Falmar was late as usual. He arrived to find the ship and crew ready. Several men traded knowing glances as he came aboard. "What was her name this time, Captain?" one called. "I didn't ask," Falmar responded. His men laughed and cheered. They all assumed incorrectly, but it boosted their spirits, and Falmar saw little harm in it. The legend was certainly greater than the man, but when you regularly asked your men to face death, sometimes it was easier if they believed a legend led them. Amergin, Falmar's first mate, had already loaded the supplies and made sure the crew was on board and relatively sober. He had questions, but had been serving Falmar since they were both boys, so he knew he would get the answers when Falmar was ready. "Yes, Amergin, we will be sailing out by moonlight. I have a contract from a Balsaraf princess, and it seems we need to make up some time. She pays well and needs us to trap some animals for her." "It is an unusual task for you," Amergin commented. "Easy gold and a damsel who needs help. It sounds exactly like me." Amergin smiled and ordered the crew to lift the anchor and set sail. Within seconds, the ship was off to the Aegis Isles. So there you go. Sometimes the lore is longer than the gameplay itself, isn't it? So we start here with our new city, and over here is the Balsaraf kingdom. We're just going to be doing some exploring. The objective currently is to find the animals that the Balsarafs need. But at first, the first mission is to promote a hunter with the Subdue Animal promotion. So we're going to need a little bit of experience for that, obviously. So here's our first hunter. The warrior's not going to do a whole lot, but it can help us explore the map. And we probably should go ahead and build another hunter. It will make exploring the map a lot quicker. I'm still a little bit used to the Civilization 6 way of moving. You have to drag your units to move in that one. I don't think we will be changing the civics at all. This mission is very bare bones, so we can... Wait. It says wolves can grow to packs after kills, and packs can spawn new wolves when they defeat living opponents. This is similar to the den ability of bears and lions, but since the wolf pack moves, it is harder for the players to farm them for experience. I'll have to keep that in mind. I'm not sure if that's a special unit that's simply for this scenario in particular, if that applies to wolves in general in Fall from Heaven 2. If it does, it is something that I haven't fully considered up until this point. So it appears that I can still learn new things about Fall from Heaven 2, which of course doesn't surprise me. So most of this mission involves exploration of this island here. After we get our hunter promoted up with the Subdue Animal promotion. Oh, we got some wolves right there. That should help get us there. Once we get that promoted up, then I think we'll be given the task to actually bring back the animals we need. Okay, hunter promoted, hunter healed, 1 out of 2 experience. I'm not sure we can take out these bears yet. 88%. Bears are powerful predators. Left on their own, they will form dens in the wild that will produce more bears. These dens could threaten your explorers or provide an ample supply of experience for your early warriors. You really took a beating on that one though. 8 turns to heal. And of course our warrior, which didn't need any promotions, gets a promotion. Yay. Okay, so we can finally give our hunter here a Subdue Animal promotion, which is the first objective. 25% Subdue Animal promotion gives us 25% versus animal units. Wow, we actually got a lot of experience from this. And then I'm just going to give another generic combat promotion, and that really reduces our healing times required. So now the objective should change. Yeah, you need to find 5 more animals to build the Menagerie. So our ultimate objective here, it appears to be to build a Menagerie in our city. So that's probably why the festival was recommended to begin with. So we should be able to capture these bears now. There we go. So we one animal down. We got a bear. There are 4 more animals that we're going to need. My hunter has destroyed a barbarian wolf. Let's get some more promos there. So now when you capture animals, they don't have any health left really. As you can see, this unit's down to 0.5 and this one's 1.3. So they lose a lot of their health in the process, which means you have to keep them a little bit safer on the way back, otherwise you might lose them again. I'm not sure there's anything over here really that we need to capture anymore. I think most of the other animals that I'm going to be capturing reside in much warmer areas of this world, but I might just explore that anyway for the sake of mapping the whole thing out. Because this is sort of tundra area, tundra, forest, grassland, all that kind of stuff. So now that we've finished our second hunter, this will make exploring a little bit easier. Send this one off. Hopefully I can get it some experience. I'll send it up north first to get some experience from the wolves that's built that carnival. As you'll notice, there is no ability to build stuff like workers, so we just stick with the basics, I guess. The scenario, like Fall from Heaven 2, the introduction here, it starts out pretty simple. I guess you could say. Maybe I should have played this originally instead of going ahead and jumping sort of into the middle of the story. But at the time, I didn't feel this was that interesting, and I still don't. Oh, look, there are some lions. We can capture those as well. I still don't feel that this campaign is all that interesting, and it deals with the Lanin, I guess you could call them. They are a seafaring people, and Decius is sort of like the leader of them. So if you're not familiar with the story as it was introduced in the beginning, it sort of threw you right into it, but it kind of establishes Decius, not Decius, I'm going to be used to that name, aren't I? Thalmar. Let's get those lions. Lions are typically found in desert environments. They occasionally can grow into lion prides. After kills, lion prides can form new dens which spawn new lions. So a little bit like the wolf packs. So I guess one of the things that this mission does is sort of introduce you to how animals have been updated for Fall from Heaven 2. So if you play regular Civilization, you're probably not aware of how animals would work in Fall from Heaven 2, and in this scenario sort of serves as an introduction course to that. Oh, let's build our dancing bear. There we go. One building down. Wait, did that unit need to be healed yet? So to build our wolf pen, we will need to finish building the carnival, which I'm currently working on in 23 turns. And I think I was making some broader point about Thalmar and establishing him as sort of this rogue kind of mercenary captain of a ship, right? Even though they did go about it in a bit of a convoluted way, and in general, as somebody who doesn't appreciate narrative as much as others do, I would prefer that they were more direct a lot of times in the narrative of Fall from Heaven 2. Too often I feel it gets bogged down in the mundane details of stuff, which as a strategy-oriented player doesn't interest me overly. But I think other people appreciated Fall from Heaven 2 for its dedication to storytelling. It is probably the most comprehensive. It probably has the most comprehensive lore of. Wow, that's a pretty strong spider. Can we kill it? No, let's stay away from it for now. Probably has some of the strongest lore of any scenario for Civilization 4. And Civilization 4 is still my favorite Civilization game, despite its flaws, I guess you could call them, especially with the combat system. The combat system is pretty bad in Civilization 4, unfortunately. There's a good chance we'll kill the spider if it attacks us. I'm not sure yet. 4 turns to heal. I think we'll just go up here on top of this hill. It's nicely defended. 50% defense bonus. Oh, get the line up there as well. And here we go. We did kill a giant spider. Giant spiders are invisible to all but recon units, aka our hunters. They lie in wait in forested areas and attack units that draw close to them. Sometimes wild giant spiders or captured ones will produce baby spiders after kills. They can grow to giant spiders after feeding. Giant spiders are poisonous and will poison units that defeat them in combat. So my unit might be poisoned there. To get rid of this effect, have your units healed by a priest, or if your unit starts the turn completely healed, the poison will wear off. So it's not a huge thing, and we are poisoned, as you can see right here. The poison promote means that I heal 3% less damage in enemy territory, 5% less damage in neutral, and 8% less damage or extra. What? Why? It says it heals. Oh, -3. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I was correct about that. And it also reduces my strength by 10%. But unfortunately, it's not one of those permanent ones, so it will automatically be removed after I've fully healed. So that's not really an issue then. How many lions do we have? I think this might be our first lion. So let's send the lion back. Along with the spider. And I think we have most of the animals. Because I need 4 more to build a menagerie. So right now in the city I have a wolf, a spider, a lion. Yeah, I think we just need the ape yet. And so this also introduces us to the how the early game has been changed in Fall from Heaven 2. So in the standard Civilization 4 experience, the earlier parts of the game are generally pretty slow. There's not a whole lot to do, and besides maybe doing some basic exploring. And introducing the ability to capture animals into Fall from Heaven 2 allowed the player to have more intermediate kind of objectives when it came to their exploration endeavors. Because if you think about it, now you can actually capture animals that you defeat in combat with your hunters or your scouts. And this means that it's strategically important to visit a variety of biomes. So you think about ice biomes or tundra biomes, yeah, there are going to be more wolves up there, or polar bears especially. Jungle biomes are going to have the great apes in it. Forests are going to have a lot more spiders. So it just becomes, it incentivizes the player to explore areas that might otherwise not be very profitable, because by default they are very inhospitable to cities. So they're not areas you'd really want to settle in. I'm just going to delete that wolf. Oh, look at that. A hill giant. Will we lose? I don't know. Should I double up my units here? I mean, we have a 91% chance. I do wish I was in some forest, though. I tell you what, we're going to go to this forest tile. If our hunter gets destroyed, I'm sure we will be able to destroy the giant in turn. So yeah, hill giant, we can't capture those. Yeah, we lost, but it is almost dead. So here we go. We will get the last laugh, but this is probably why you want to explore in teams. At least 2 hunters out there can help you make sure you don't waste time. So we're getting over there into the marshland area, and we also finished our carnival. So now we can build lion cage and wolf pen. I actually don't think we needed the spider. There might be something else that we need. Let me see here. We currently have wolf pen, lion cage, dancing bear, and that's it. Okay, so I think we need 2 more. One of them is the gorilla pen. I'm not sure what the other one is. I need 2 more units to build the menagerie. We do have the polar bear, right? Yeah, we have dancing bear, so we really didn't need another polar bear. There are 2 units then. That one of them I forgot about. I remember the ape. Speak of the ape, here it is. It's a gorilla, specifically. So let's see if we can capture that. Because of their rarity, gorillas are the most difficult animal to capture on most maps. They tend to appear in jungles, though even then, you are unlikely to find them in large groups. It's a very kind of rare capture on our part. And by the way, to build the Grand Menagerie, we have to capture all these animals. So that's why it's strategically important. Oh, it was a tiger. A tiger was the other unit that we needed to capture and build a Grand Menagerie. Tigers are dangerous hunters and very capable of taking out a lone scout or unguarded settler. There is more to fear in the jungles than just the lizard men. I don't know, man. I think the lizard men are pretty dangerous as well. But I suppose that point is kind of moot. And we do have to worry about other barbarian animals coming along and killing the barbarian animals I capture, which is why I'm thinking maybe I'll just station here until I get another scout to escort them back. 2 turns to heal. Let's heal. That's another gorilla. I'm going to wait for this hunter to finish healing, so that way I can use that hunter to escort the 2 animals here back, so they don't get attacked by other wild animals in this area and killed. Because there are going to be a lot of wild animals on this map. Wow, that scout is taking, hunter is taking a while to recover. No kidding. Polar bears have finished healing. So I didn't need to capture the spider, but it was interesting because it introduces us to some of its mechanics, I guess you could say. Because it differs from traditional animal units, right? It has the stealth ability. The most advanced civilizations. I am the glorious, even though I basically put no effort into it whatsoever. Not that I could, even if I wanted to. I guess we're just... I mean, we're pretty close here to the end, I think. Overall, this is going to be a pretty reasonably sized scenario, if you think about it. Most of the scenarios end up being multiple episodes long, and each episode tends to be about an hour, but I think we can finish this one pretty quickly. Which means we'll probably be moving through this campaign faster than the Decius campaign. So I'm calling it the Falmar campaign. I'm not exactly sure. It seems to mostly follow Falmar of the Lannan, but I think it could focus on other main characters as well from time to time. It's been a while since I played it, like years, so don't be too hard on me for it. I think last time I really played it was back in 2011. So as you can imagine, 5+ years, over half a decade since I last visited this. You do forget stuff, but it's still a pretty enjoyable scenario. Okay, that's just another hunter. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with the city. Like, we can't build any... Oh, there's a Grand Menagerie. It requires a gorilla cage and a tiger cage. I guess we're just gonna have to keep building hunters till we get our animals escorted back here. So I think... Wait, okay, for a second there I saw the wolf and I was thinking, what? So let's see here. There's the gorilla cage and the tiger cage. So now if we take a look in here, you can see tiger cage +1, happiness, 3 culture. The lion cage, 1 happiness, 3 culture. Gorilla cage, happiness, 3 culture. Dancing bear, happiness, 3 culture. And the wolf pen is just 2 culture. But you know, this, if you're somebody who's just starting the game out and you add all these to your capital city, you know, that's a significant amount of additional happiness. That's +4 happiness right there. And that can really mean a lot in the earlier parts of the game. Like, even if you get 2 of those animals, it's a significant boost to happiness rather than needing to build buildings that give you the happiness or find more luxury resources. So it makes sense to explore the map now in more than a political sense, you know, scoping out your rivals. It's actually how you help build your cities. And I think that's that was a twist that Fall from Heaven 2 put on it that I really did appreciate. Okay, we should be able to build the Grand Menagerie now. 15 turns to go. There we go. This should be over with relatively quickly. Oh! Kael giggles gleefully at the caged animals and Kael giggles gleefully at the caged animals and construction of the upcoming Grand Menagerie. This is wonderful, she squeals. Fetch me one of those big, gray, teethy beasts. Ooh, we have to capture a mammoth. So that came a little bit out of left field. I forgot about that one. I thought once we finished the menagerie, things would be over. But it appears we have more work to do, so I'm sending out 2 hunters here. We should find them somewhere up around here, I think. The mammoths, but yeah, we probably want to do a little bit more exploring, just so we can locate one faster. I'm splitting these units up here a little bit. Lions are on the prowl. Delete this unit. More wolves, more polar bears, more lions. That lion is pretty far from the desert biome, but I suppose it's also native to plain biomes, so. Hunter killed wolf, hunter killed barbarian lion. Let's give subdue animal. Hopefully we can heal up there. Got some more lions over there. I don't think there's going to be a mammoth in that area. You can see there was a sea tortoise up there in the sea. Sea tortoise in the sea sounds a bit redundant, doesn't it? I'm not sure what I was thinking by that. Here, let's send the oh! Wait, my hunter destroyed it? Okay, I meant to send the wolf to destroy it. So I thought the wolf was gonna die. And I didn't need a wolf, so it was okay with me. Nothing up there. Yeah, so this must be the reason why I thought scoping the map out was probably a good idea. There should be a mammoth around here somewhere. And that's what we need to capture next. More polar bears. Oh, I should have sent this gorilla deeper into the jungle. A wolf was destroyed by a barbarian wolf. How fitting. More wolves. Probably going to be destroyed by that bear, yeah. Not a problem. Wasn't that into the wolves anyway. So yeah, things have significantly slowed down here a bit. I would say this is one of the weaker aspects of this scenario, is this whole search and find stuff. Like, minesweeping at this point. And there's no even guarantee that it will be out here, you know? We found one. We found an elephant. It says elephant and then it shows, oh, that's my wolf, okay. So we found one here. Just need to heal up a bit. That unit does have the subdue animal, so I can capture it with that hunter. We have a lion there. Should have promoted for mobility if I could. We constructed a grand menagerie. Yeah, so I don't think we even needed to build it, but what it does anyway is it gives you a free carnival in every city. Obviously, you needed to build a carnival in the city that you wanted to build the grand menagerie in to begin with, but when, once you have that carnival, you build the grand menagerie, and then you get free carnivals in all your cities. And the carnivals are useful. Not only do they intrinsically provide one happiness, but they also allow you to build more advanced animal cages, I guess you could call them. So you also get 1+1 free bard from the grand menagerie. And it has very high requirements, which means I don't think any AIs will end up building it. I think we're just going to track this elephant. It can't attack. It's a defense only thing, but it's very strong. And I think I'm going to bring my other hunter along to kill it. Is this one? Yeah. Wait, what? My tiger was destroyed by a barbarian gorilla. Wait, what are the odds now? It's still 74. Here's what I'm going to do. Wait, because I want to capture it, right? So like, even if I attack it with this hunter, and it turns out that I win on 31%, it doesn't have the subdue animal promotion, which means I would have wasted my opportunity here. So I think we're just going to continue tracking it until my main hunter gets over here. Even though it's going to take a bit longer. Oh, we found a wolf pack. We found the mythical wolf pack. So wolf packs are strength 3 instead of strength 2, but they have the same amount of movement. So they're not that different, except they can spawn more wolves. But I don't really recall seeing one before. Yeah, my hunter killed the barbarian wolf pack, which is interesting because, I've been playing it for the past I think I've been playing Fall from Heaven 2 for the past year now. With the Decius campaign especially, and I haven't seen one, or I haven't notably seen one. It even has a different icon for it. It's a lot whiter, like a kind of high blue contrast. Huh. I don't think they spawn wolves for me though. So even if I owned it. Wait, was my hunter severely injured there? Yeah, it was. Still has good odds though, so hopefully he won't die. I guess gorillas shouldn't try attacking tigers. Haha. Your hunter has killed a barbarian lion. Yeah. Wow, point. It's almost dead now. It wasn't dead before. It's almost dead now. So let's delete lion. I think I'm gonna send this guy home to heal. What are the odds against the polar bears? Yeah, there's no way to promote ourselves additionally for combat against animal units, I don't think. So. Another hunter I can't use because it doesn't have enough promotion. For subdue animal. Okay, are you kidding me? Really? 7 turns. Oh my god. It's ridiculous. Spend 7 turns healing that one unit. It should be a little bit faster in the city, but I don't think it made any sense to actually go back there. What I should do, I think now I have enough promotions to capture with the wolf here. I should try this again. What are the odds now? 88? Okay, there we go. No need to bother healing that other unit up. Although powerful, wild elephants cannot attack, so your units are safe around them. If you capture one and have the horseback riding technology, you can train captured elephants as war elephants, which are able to attack and become powerful early units. There we go. Capture an elephant. Now we have to capture a griffin. Gielan stares in amazement at the captured elephant. I've heard of another pet, a chicken cat. Get one of those for me too. So, our adventures here have taken yet another surprising twist. Good thing I have 2 hunters here that are fairly experienced now. And my wolf pack is fully restored. I'll just be interested to see if it actually can spawn more wolves. I'm just gonna have it sleep over there, and we'll see what happens with it. So you don't come across griffins too often. It's a rarity. But once again, I think usually they're found in sort of forest-like areas, sort of around here. So hopefully we'll find one. It's too bad we just can't build something like culture. Oh, that's what I should do. I should set this up to build perpetually. That way I'm never bothered by it asking me again. Oh wait, was that the hunter I actually needed? Yeah. It's fully healed. What? Downside to not using keyboard commands, I guess. We can't make an elephant cage out of the elephant. Sadly. I thought it was a mammoth too for some reason. Maybe there are mammoths in this game. I should check that out once. Are there mammoths in Fall from Heaven 2? HJKM. Marksman, mercenary. No, I must have just imagined that. Huh. I wonder what game that was in then that had mammoths. They're some similar to Fall from Heaven 2. Let's continue on here. Hunter killed a barbarian wolf. Yes, indeed. But we are interested in... Is that a wolf pack? No. We're interested in a griffin. Griffins only. Thank you very much. I think there should be a griffin somewhere around up here. What are the odds against the bears? Not good. Maybe it was just by chance that I usually encountered griffins up there. Polar bear and polar bear. How exciting. By exciting, I mean not exciting. Just more units to delete. So, actually I should have healed. Yeah. Well, now is an opportunity to do so. Only 4 more turns. I'm just gonna send some of these other hunters out to explore around the place. Not sure where I'm going to find the griffin, but this will make it faster if I can do this and just locate it. And then I don't have to be wasting a whole bunch of time running around. Even though I will have to invest time in running these units around. Look. For the griffin. I wonder if it has even spawned on the map yet. Maybe I've revealed too much of the map. And it can't. Because I'm surprised I haven't found it yet. I really am. Look at the amount of map we've revealed. How is it that we haven't discovered the griffin yet? What? I found a barbarian griffin, but I don't get to see it. Okay, well, anyway, we have the ending soliloquy. She was a delightful, if not demented, child, and she twirled and danced between the animals we had assembled for her. Her courtier counted out the gold we had been promised and excused her behavior, though it was his disdain for her that bothered me far more than the young princess's enthusiasm. After checking each animal, Kael approached me. She had a griffin feather in her hair, and her dress, though once beautiful, was now patched and worn, as if unable to keep up with the tiny tornado. These must be the most excellent animals from anywhere in Erebus. I smiled. I'm pleased. I smiled? I thought we were speaking in Falmar in the third person. I believe this is Falmar that we're talking about here. Falmar smiled. I'm pleased that you think so. My hunters searched every corner of this island to find them for you. Where other princesses have rooms of toy animals, you will have the real things. She grinned. This was his plan, to keep her focused on how wonderful it was. Her mind didn't dwell long on achievements, and she was usually racing off to the next goal, and Falmar was tired of searching this island for whatever she wanted next. But it was too late. Her smile faded, and her brow furrowed again in thought. She was going to ask for more. It is a wonderful collection. But what about those that don't live on the island? What about those in the sea? The Lannan are talented fishermen, right? The best, Falmar answered. At least this was the sort of hunting his men would prefer. Would you like us to gather some giant crabs, ocelots, or tortoises for you? She seemed to consider the suggestion. No, she said. Do you know the giant wiggly beasts that are painted on the walls of the temple in Shal? Yes, squids. They wouldn't survive long in your zoo, I'm afraid. They had to stay in the water. Kael nodded. Bring me some, and I'll have Chuckles close in the harbor so they can't run away. Occasionally we caught squid in our nets. I don't know if I can continue changing it to the third person, so I'm just going to default to the first person. It's just really weird reading it, because the introduction to this entire campaign started off with Falmar, the main character, being addressed in the third person, and now we're in the first person as Falmar. So it's just weird. Occasionally we caught squid in our nets, from those as long as a man's arm to twice the length of a man. It wouldn't be much trouble to snare a few for her. Of course, I said loud enough for her snobbish courtier to hear. We would be happy to capture a few squid for your collection, for the same price as the others. The courtier sighed and looked as disappointed as Kael was excited. Load up the ships, I called to the men. We do the rest of our hunting from beneath the white and purple, and atop a hull full of rum. The men cheered, and a few hours later we set out from the docks with a fair wind and high spirits. I dropped into darkness. I could hear the explosion of splintering wood and sensed the movement of a giant around me. Something so great, even the whales feared it. The central mast broke and plunged past me through the water. This was the only indication I had of direction, and I began swimming desperately towards the direction of the mast came from. The seas were rough, but the Lannan like to say that just requires more drink to steady the ship. Though it was the perfect area for fishing, our nets came up empty on every pull. We were preparing to move back towards the coast when the creature attacked. Giant tentacles reached over the deck and crushed the ships as if they were made of paper. There was no coherent defense against this attack, and the screaming of my men disappeared as the sea claimed me. Just as I saw the shimmer of light through the inky darkness, as my lungs burned for air, I felt the tip of a tentacle close around my leg. I reached for my sword, but the sheath was empty. I had lost it in the water. A tug pulled me down, away from that golden halo of light, and I fought for any way to get out of its grip. There was a single glint of metal in the darkness. It floated down from the remains of the ship, and I reached to catch it. It was beyond my reach, so I twisted against the tentacle, buying myself a precious few inches, and I closed my hand around it. I immediately twisted back into the tentacle, bringing the weapon to cut it from my leg, only to discover that I held a silver candlestick. In that moment, my lungs exploded, and I drank in the sea. All else disappeared. So here we go. The most prized of animal captures. Griffins are not only formidable fighters, but their ability to fly may make them the best early explorers in the game. Unfortunately, I will never get to use it because I want a conquest victory. Let's speed this right along. There we go. 37 minutes. Ha! I'm a Cthulhu again. Wait, just one more turn. We want to see the griffin. So it was up here this time, sort of in the Arctic tundra. Apparently it doesn't have a too specific area that it's committed to, but it's only strength 4. But it does have the unit flying promotion, no combat penalty for attacking across the sea, no combat penalty for crossing river, +1 movement range, and grants the unit the ability to fly. So I think you can do stuff like go on top of mountains, yeah, like that. So that's pretty cool. That's something you can do with a griffin. I don't think you can build any buildings with it though. Could be mistaken. Let's take a look here for a second. Should be gorilla. Where is it? Am I not seeing a there it is. Griffin. Yeah, it doesn't have any buildings, I don't think. What does flying do? Okay. Yeah. That's pretty much it. So it's rather interesting, and there goes the frame rate. It's rather interesting how this mission starts and ends, sort of with you thinking that Falmar is dead, but Falmar is going to be returning for much of this campaign, so don't think that this is the end of the roguish pirate, or whatever you want to call him. I guess he's more of a mercenary than a pirate. Oh, by the way, something really funny happens when, I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, you can. Because I'm playing on a 1440p monitor now, everything else about Civilization 4 works fine, but when I zoom all the way out, it just cannot put up with it. Any scrolling around would be jerky. Like, normally, the frame rate looks fine. I'm getting fine frames, but the game can't handle it for some reason when I scroll. Like that. Even if I'm using the keyboard, it's still very, very unwieldy, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so that introduces us to the Falmar campaign, I guess we're going to call it. Or the Lannan campaign. So, thank you very much for watching as always, and I hope to see you next time.